Hey guys, before the broadcast, I just want to mention this episode of the Football Fuck Up Show is dedicated in loving memory to Stanley J. Nowicki, a loving husband, father, and grandfather, and lifelong sports fan. May he rest in peace, and our thoughts and prayers are with his loved ones.
Yeah. Been that dude, so they all better take heed. Got the haters going ghost like they Patrick Swayze. I've been talking real shit, y'all been talking crazy. I've been on some new shit, y'all been acting lazy. I've been it, so my words are gon' make it float. I'm like dry ice mixed with alcohol in a bowl. Or below zero winter, go and grab a coat. What else can I say? The kid is just too cold. Never told a fib, was born just too bold. Never had to fold, but did break the mold. And as the story's told, if you didn't know, I'm running up the scope. This is DMO. Can you hear me? There's some of them minds, man, they better fear me. They need glasses, they can't see it clearly. I don't chase the money, it just like to come near me. Yearly, truly, my life is a movie. Took her on a date once, now she tryna groove me. I'm really that guy, they gon' have to sue me. Then had the juice, time to mix it like a smoothie. Groovy, they asked me how I get up, I told them had to start down. Found me some real ones, now I got a crew now. Met a loyal girl, 4 years later, that's my boo wow. And now I'm out here giving new sounds like boom pow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another episode of the Helmet Haven Football Fuck Up Show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are a few weeks behind. We do apologize for that. Unfortunately, we got caught up in some unfortunate personal circumstances that we're not going to dive into right now. We had obviously a little bit of a memorial service before the broadcast started, but guys, we are back and we are going to bring you the rest of the action throughout this season, barring any major mishaps. With that being said, joining me as always, my co-host Kenny, and we are going to recap this last week of NFL action for you as we look forward to these last few weeks of the regular season. Kenny, what are we looking at?
All right, so for the first news fresh off the presses, just before we hit the broadcast, was Dan Quinn officially stating that Marcus Mariota will get the start for the Commanders against the Giants as Jaden Daniels has that setback in his elbow.
Okay, so that is breaking news.
Yeah, that's as of about 18 minutes ago. Man, he is speed running that Andrew Luck career path right now, and I don't like it.
Me neither.
Next we have Coach Shane Steichen of the Indianapolis Colts stating that he does not know who his starting quarterback is heading into this week. Riley Leonard currently has a PCL sprain. We'll get into what happened to the other quarterback on that roster in a little bit. But I will say that Phil Rivers, 44-year-old, did sign to the practice squad. So we will see how that shapes up.
I think we all know who their quarterback's going to be. I think we
It's going to be my boy Felipe Rivers. Break out the bolo tie there, Tame. Break out the bolo tie. Straight from Rivers, he says he did come in expecting to play. So that is probably what's going to happen.
He saw Matthew Stafford creeping up on his all-time passing yards and said, "Not so fast."
So fast, bucko. He also saw how close he was to Ben Roethlisberger and was like, I can do that. I can do that. And he will be wearing 17 because Daniel Jones did end up rupturing his Achilles. So prayers out to him.
Yeah,
obviously, my co-host here knows I am not the biggest believer in Daniel Jones. However, injury is not how I want anybody's season to end. So hopefully he gets re-signed despite that. And Tua. And Derek Carr. Maybe. But for those of you that are wondering, Rivers can wear 17 because of Daniel Jones' injury. It does not have any confliction with two players wearing it at once. That is why he's able to wear it. Next up, we have, let's see here. Zach Ertz has officially been placed on IR after tearing his Achilles or ACL. We saw that hit, I'm pretty sure, Nick.
Yeah,
and it
no,
was
Zach Ertz became a victim, bro. That was scary.
It was definitely scary.
Yeah, also, just want to point this out. Another injury to my fantasy lineup just as we're starting to get healthy. Just as
Yeah, Nick's like, oh, my season's turning around, kinda. And Daniel Jones is dead.
And Daniel Jones is hurt. And Zach Ertz is hurt. Cool.
Let's see. Already did that. The Cleveland Browns have placed center Ethan Pinnock and running back Jerome Forward on IR. Massive hit there to that offense, that's for sure. But it is the Browns, so like, what do we expect?
I was about to say it's the Browns. Is it really that big of a loss?
The Ravens have signed guard Laken Tomlinson to the practice squad, and they've released Carl Lawson. So the Ravens getting some interior line help. Obviously, officially, the Colts had placed Daniel Jones and cornerback Chris Lemons on IR. So, yeah, there's that. A few playoff clinching things that could go on this week. Denver winning or them tying, and Las Angeles, Jacksonville, Houston, or Indy losing will clinch them a playoff spot. New England with a win or a tie by them and a Chargers, Houston, Indianapolis, or Jacksonville loss. And for the NFC, the only clincher is the Rams with a win will clinch a playoff spot.
Okay.
Already know about the Rivers situation. Rivers does have a chance to be like the fourth quarterback to start a game over 44 years old, or 40 years old. So there's that. Buccaneers left guard Ben Bredeson has been placed on IR. That's a big hit to that Bucs O line.
Yeah, and just as they're in the middle of a fight for their division too.
It's baseball news. I know this is a football one, but they do have it on here, so I'll bring it up. Edwin Diaz signs with the Dodgers.
Fuck.
I have no idea who that is.
It's just the Dodgers getting another weapon. Fuck.
So they're just like Kansas City then, of
Kinda,
the baseball.
Yeah, kinda. Nobody likes them.
Trey Hendrickson is had a core muscle surgery a day ago. His season is over, so he bitched about all that money, played 6 games, and is fucked off. And that is why people don't like signing people who bitch about money. Here's another person coming out of retirement, Tame, as the Bucks are signing on their practice squad Jason Pierre-Paul.
JPP!
The one-handed wonder. Left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. of the Arizona Cardinals has a sprained ACL or MCL and is considered week to week. So there's another injury that's going to affect another offensive line that's already not that good.
Let's face it, Kenny. With all the injuries that are going on, the Super Bowl winner is just going to be whatever team's left alive at the end of the season.
Which right now it looks like that could be one of their two favorites right now, Rams and fucking Patriots. God, I hate our lives right now. New England already has a new quarterback, and it sucks.
Real.
But he's a likable quarterback, so I kind of don't want to root against him either. It's weird. Interesting fact another thing about the Rivers situation. If he does play, that does reset the clock again, so it'll take another 5 years for him to be up on the ballot for the Hall of Fame again. So there's that. Let's see. This is Monday Night Football related plays, so nothing really worth mentioning here, since we have talked about that game anyways. A flex tame has been done to a football game. As week 16, the Sunday night football game is no longer Bengals at Dolphins. It is now Patriots at Ravens.
Let's go!
And I don't know about you, but I'm rooting for the Patriots in that one. I kind of want them to take that seed away from the
I
Broncos.
kind of do too, which is weird because it's the Patriots.
Cleveland has been has finalized a DUI plea. He was arrested in February for it, but he will be serving a 3-game suspension. This is why the Ravens had to sign a guard, is because theirs is suspended for 3 games. And it was by DUI, so he deserved it. I said it.
It's not that he deserved 3 games. It's just what he spun on the wheel of discipline. It's just what he spun.
That's true. He realistically probably should have had a whole season gone, to be honest with you, but that's beside the point. In injury news for the Chargers prior to the Monday Night Football game, they did get Maureen Hampton, Hassan Haskins, and Otto Ogbani back out of IR. And right in time for a potential playoff push, might I add. And boy, did Justin Herbert need that run game, let me tell you that.
For real.
T. Higgins is back in concussion protocol.
No, to absolutely no one's surprised.
Dude's head bounced off that turf like 6 times during that game.
Exactly.
Like, holy crap. The Bengals are releasing wide receiver Jermaine Burton. He was suspended for Sunday's game, and that was the last straw. So a wide receiver that hasn't done much hits the free agency. Maybe he'll end up somewhere. We'll see. No structural damage for Keaton Mitchell, who had an injury with the Ravens-Steelers game. He is expected to be day-to-day but not miss much time, so a major bullet there dodged by Keaton Mitchell. Raiders cornerback Caillou Blue Kelly suffered a ruptured patella tendon in yesterday's loss to the Broncos. This was obviously on Monday. And so he will have his season end on that note. He's probably celebrating that because he doesn't have to play for that dog shit franchise the rest of the year. I know I would be. I don't know if you would be, but I would be.
Yeah, I would.
So it is now official. Mike Evans is making his return on Thursday Night Football.
Good. He's finally coming back, ladies and gentlemen.
No more 1,000-yard season, but he can still help them with their playoff push. Devon A-Chain had a rib injury. However, it is not believed to have any real damage, and he is expected to still play on Monday against the Steelers. Kevin Stefanski, to no one's surprise, has officially named Shedeur Sanders the QB the rest of the way. Let's be honest, that's probably his last season there. Veteran safety DeMonte KZ has signed with the Lions practice squad. This is after another injury, which is Brian Branch, who I believe they said he tore his ACL. So another season ender. As you said, the team that survives is the one that will win the Super Bowl at this point. DK Metcalf had a very bad situation where he ended up having to stay overnight at a hospital after the Ravens game. However, he is expected to be all right and maybe miss a game, but not much else. So a few players luckily dodging the major injury news, at least. We'll get to some of this other stuff here in a minute. Chiefs backup offensive lineman Wayne Morris has a major knee injury that will keep him out for the remainder of the season as well. Let's see. Already talked about Zach Ertz. We'll cover that news later. We already talked about Daniels. Darrell Washington of the Steelers is probably in concussion protocol right now because he was diagnosed with one during the Ravens game. So yet another concussion. Who knew? I know you know this, but I'll bring it up since it is technically news. We obviously have the college football championship bracket finally here. We have JMU at Oregon, Alabama at I don't even care who that is, Tulane at Ole Miss, and Miami at
Bama
Texas.
plays Oklahoma. The fuck you mean?
Nobody cares about Oklahoma. Nobody's cared about Oklahoma since Baker Mayfield was there. Don't fucking correct me. You know that's right.
I will correct you when it comes to college football.
Too bad. I'm not going to listen. Nobody cares about Oklahoma. Evan Brown of the Cardinals was out during the Sunday's game for personal reasons, so not an injury there at least. Let's see. No, that's not really what we're talking about. We already mentioned that. We mentioned before at the very start of this broadcast, but Deshaun Watson has been cleared to play again. So Pedo is back to pedoing, I guess. I don't know. Apparently, Nick, I didn't know this, but rumor has it they're wanting to start Watson because of the whole we're paying him a bunch of money thing.
Oh.
Should they please outplay the ever-loving fuck out of him so we don't have to witness him on the football field anymore? Let's see here. Because let's face it, nobody wants to see that bitch on the field again. Kamari Lassiter of the Texans played through a foot injury, and he played quite well, all things considered. I believe he had a pick on Patrick Mahomes. Let me make sure there's nothing else worth mentioning here. Bills were originally picking up Darius Slay, but Darius Slay basically said he didn't want to play for them because I guess the Eagles put in a bid for him as well. And all I'm going to say is that's bitch behavior right there. You were cut by the Steelers. Somebody claimed you just fucking play. Stop being a little bitch.
Yeah, for real.
Obviously, you knew this from watching the game, but Roma Dunze did not play on Sunday.
Yeah, I knew that.
All right, and I think that is about it for the news. I don't think there's much else. Oh, wait, Kyler Murray is expected to miss the remainder of the season. That's the last thing I'll say.
All right, cool. With that out of the way, guys, we kind of blended the news with the injury corner. So we're trying to cut down on time here because we have a lot to cover. Obviously, with us missing a couple of weeks. But, guys, we are going to hop from there. Kenny, I think we just want to touch on the standings and then we'll do the predictions and recap and whatnot.
Yep, because it's been a few weeks and I feel like people might not know what the standings are.
All right, yeah. So guys, the playoff picture, if it ended today, is what we're doing for the 30-second timeout today. So, Kenny, take it away.
Here we go. So the standings in the AFC would be would be Denver, New England would be 2, Jacksonville would be 3, Pittsburgh would be 4, the Chargers would be 5, Buffalo 6, and Houston 7. What a comeback by Houston, by the way.
Yeah, for real. From 5 to they're what now? 7-5?
They're 8-5. They've won 5 in a row.
Yeah, no, they've definitely been bouncing back in a big way. Largely in part to that killer defense. That defense is for real.
And still in the hunt as of now, mathematically speaking, are the Colts, Ravens, Chiefs, Dolphins, and Bengals.
How are the Chiefs still in the hunt for the playoffs when they've been mathematically eliminated from their division win?
Because they're only 3 games behind and there's 4 games left to play. So
Fuck everything.
all they have to do is win out. Apparently.
Can someone beat the Chiefs so that they don't make the playoffs, please? Because I guarantee if they make the playoffs, some dumb shit's going to happen.
All right, next up we have the NFC side. The Rams are the 1 seed, Green Bay the 2, Philadelphia the 3, Tampa the 4, Seattle the 5, San Francisco the 6, and Chicago the 7.
Yeah, we were the 1 seed going into last week, but then we lost to Green Bay. We'll talk about that later.
So, Nick, Kimmy wanted me to say, fuck you. Hope you enjoyed keeping my place warm.
Fuck you. We're still ranked higher than your team.
No, he's the Rams. He's the Rams, remember?
You're a Chargers
fan. She told me to say that before. No, you didn't hear me. Kimmy said for me to tell you that.
Yeah, and I said we're still ranked higher than you.
No, you're a 7 seed and we're a 5 seed, so I don't know what math you're doing.
Mathematically, we have a better record than you.
He's in 4, idiot. Nice try, though.
We are a better team. Anyway, guys.
Sure that you're a better team for now.
For now. Sure.
Anyways.
Sure. Yeah,
anyway.
Sure. For now. Anyway, for now, guys, we're gonna do the recap and predictions for next week, and yeah, then we'll finally start being able to close out this damn show.
All right, we're gonna start on Thursday Night Football as the Lions beat the Cowboys 44-30.
To no one's surprise, did anyone?
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs toasted the hell out of that.
Jameer Gibbs, best running back in the NFL.
By the way, we stated it before, but let's state it again. Amon-Ra's a fucking dog.
Oh, for real.
He's like, what, injury? No. Next up, we have the Titans beating the Browns 31-29. And it's Kevin Stefanski's an idiot.
Yep.
That's the best way to talk about that game. Tony Pollard absolutely
nothing to really say here.
Also, since it's been a couple weeks, I believe Myles Garrett's 3 sacks away from breaking the sack record. So.
Yeah, he should break it. No problem. He should.
Next up, we have the Seahawks bitch slapping the ever-loving shit out of the Falcons 37-9.
Because the Falcons suck, and we all know this now.
Yep. Next up, we have Jacksonville beating the Colts 36-19. Rip Daniel Jones again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with the Colts. This was a game they probably should have won. But Jacksonville looks dangerous right now.
I would not want to play them right now, that's for sure. Vikings shut out the Commanders 31-0 and 9.
After getting shut out the previous week?
Not 9. JJ, 9. We don't know who showed up, but apparently one of them's good and one of them's not. We'll figure it out later. Next up, we have what was the game of the week, in my opinion. The Bills beating the Bengals 39-34.
Yeah, this was a great game. Obviously, the Bengals getting Joe Burrow back off of the injury reserve, and obviously Joe Burrow making quite the impact upon his return.
Josh Allen continuing to having to be Superman out there again as well. Next up, we have the shocker of the week, in my opinion, as the Saints beat the Bucks 24-20.
Yeah, I think this was just a slip by the Bucks. I think they'll be fine in the long run, but this is definitely one that you're probably going to look back at the end of the season and think, wow, we probably should have won that.
Also important to note, he was missing the entire left side of his O-line. I don't normally let people have that excuse, but Tristan Wirfs is an all-star fucking left tackle, so I think it's warranted in this case. Next up, we have the Steelers, let's be honest, escaping the Ravens 27-22.
Yeah, for the division, obviously. The Steelers just able to walk out with a win there.
No surprise here. Dolphins beat the Jets 34-10.
Yeah, the Dolphins been on the upswing. I mean, granted, it's because they're not really playing like actual teams, but like ever since they beat the Bills.
Yeah, they've been reignited, man. And I mean, shout out to Brady Cook, the rookie quarterback that had to play that game. He didn't play great, but for a guy that was ice cold going in, he didn't play bad either. Next up, we have the Broncos beating the Raiders 24-17. Another close game for the Broncos.
Yeah,
Still
the
not sold.
Broncos. The Broncos are cardiac kids, man. I don't know what it is. Somehow this team's the 1 seed.
Yep, I think their luck's going to run out like the Chiefs did last year, so that's all I'm going to say. Next up, we have the Rams putting belt to ass against the Cardinals, 45-17.
I swear to God, the Cardinals are just the NFL's enhancement talent.
Micah Wilson's playing really well, though.
I will say that. Yeah, no, he's been pretty insane. He was a pretty clutch pickup for my fantasy team.
You put up the bat signal to save your team, and he's like, "I'm on the way."
Well, I mean, my season's still over. I mean, I didn't make the playoffs, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
He tried to drag you there, though.
He did.
Next up, we have what my host co-host here will go into more detail about later. The Packers are beating the Bears 28-21.
Yeah, the Bears slipping up big in this one. I'll touch more on this later during the personal segment, but Kenny, you go ahead and talk about this one for a minute.
Nick, I want to hear you say it. Did I or did I not warn you this would happen? I warned my co-host. I said this is exactly how it was going to happen.
Hush,
he was going to get
hush,
hyped up because
hush.
they're doing
We
so
nearly
good,
beat them too.
And then they went into Lambeau, and then they lost. So
hush, Kenny, because you know what? All we need to do is beat the Browns, and in 2 weeks we get the same situation at Soldier Field.
Yes, but again, I said what I said. And you put that little picture, I hate you, we're finally winning. No. That's me trying to realistically help you not get your expectations too high. And then you did, and then they lost. So that's on you. Next up, we have the Texans beating the Chiefs, as we mentioned earlier, 20-10.
This was a big win for Houston. And big loss for Chiefs, which I think everyone is happy about.
Yeah, that defense had Mahomes seeing ghosts. Sam Darnold style right there. Jets Sam Darnold. Let's make that clear. Jets Sam Darnold. And then we have the Monday night game where the Chargers beat the Eagles 22-19. I'll obviously go more into detail about this on my segment. I'll let Tame say his stuff about this one.
I think that scientists are going to try to study how the hell a team ever won a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts as quarterback. Probably for the rest of time. Anyone that's still claiming that Jalen is a top 5 quarterback, eat shit. Your top 5 quarterback just committed a fumble and an INT on the same play.
History was made, as this is the first time in NFL history that both quarterbacks that were in the Super Bowl had 0 touchdowns and combined for 7 picks.
Yeah, this was an affront to football.
With that, we are done with Week 14.
With that out of the way, guys, we are looking forward to Week 15. Of course, starting with the recap. Not the recaps out of the way. We're going into predictions. So, starting with tomorrow night's Thursday night game, Ken, what are we looking at?
We're looking at the Falcons at the Bucks. This is a must-win for the Bucks.
I mean, I'm going Bucks. I just don't think that Atlanta's any good.
Also going Bucks. The Bucks are getting Mike Evans back, which will significantly help them with consistency. And all you gotta do with the Falcons is shut down Bijan and force Kirk to throw the ball, and he's not good at throwing the ball. So yeah, I'm gonna say Bucks. Next up, we have Baltimore traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, who the Bengals did beat 2 weeks ago quite convincingly.
I mean, this one's kind of hard to call. I mean, with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow both being active, I'm gonna go Bengals. I just have a little bit more faith in Joe Burrow.
Also going to go Bengals here. They the first day Joe was back, he played really well against the same defense away. Now he's at home. I don't see them being able to beat the odds here. Next up, we have the Raiders at the Eagles. I don't think we have to waste much time on this one.
Yeah, this one should be the one that gets the Eagles back on track. I mean, it's the Raiders. If the Raiders somehow beat the Eagles, yeah, they win fuck up of the week.
Yeah, I mean, if they lose to Vegas, man, their fans will have every right to crash out. Let me say that.
I will 100% agree with you because Vegas is doing irreparable harm to the sport of football.
All right, next up we have the Cardinals traveling to Houston to take on the Texans. Texans defense, man, I cannot go against them.
Yeah, no. How do you bet against this Texans defense?
You can't. You fucking can't. It's that simple. Chargers at Chiefs. I'm taking the Chargers. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
the
I'm
Chiefs
also going Chargers. I mostly just for the fact that I want to see you guys eliminate Kansas City.
Yep, and this would be, statistically, by the way, this would be the first time we've swept the Chiefs in a long time, and I would love to see it happen this year. So, next up, we have what could be for the AFC East. The Bills traveling to New England to take on the Patriots.
I'm going Patriots. I think that the Patriots were able to win the first matchup, and I think they'll be able to do it again.
This will be the first one we disagree on here. I think the Bills get this one back. I think this New England team is due for a loss, and I think this is where they eat that loss. Though I wouldn't mind if I'm wrong, because, again, I do want New England to be the one seed. So I'll say that. Next up, we have the Jets at the Jaguars.
Jags
by a lot.
Yeah.
That's not much there. Nick, we have our one and only Tank Bowl next.
Oh, boy.
The Commanders at the Giants.
Oh, you know, if nothing else, I'm gonna go Giants here just because I like Jackson Dart a little bit more. Just because.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I think Jackson Dart is just better than Marcus Mariota, which isn't really saying much. And this Commanders team has just been not very inspiring this season. So
yeah, how you go from the NFC Championship to this is yikes.
Yeah, it's bad. Next up, we have your game where the Browns travel to Soldier Field to take on the Bears.
Bears.
I'm going Bears too, but this is the game Myles Garrett gets sacked. I don't care.
Oh, I don't think that there's any doubt that Myles Garrett should have any problem sacking Caleb Williams. I think that Caleb Williams is, as mid as he is, I think he's still miles better than Shedeur Sanders.
So, yeah, I'm going Bears, but Myles Garrett breaks the sack record. So, next up we have what could put them at one in the division, the Panthers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
I'm going Panthers here.
I'm definitely going Panthers here, too. I think if rather Tampa wins or not, they're going to want to win this game to stay right on their tail and just hope for them to slip up one more time this season. Next up, we have what I think could be the game of the week, Nick. And let me say this is still going to be a heavyweight clash, even with some of the people missing out of this equation. The Lions travel to L.A. to take on the Rams.
Oh, I definitely agree. I think this is still a heavyweight matchup, and I personally, I'm going to Detroit. I think Detroit needs
That's
this
so
win
you can
because,
try to
quite
claim
frankly,
the
they
one
need it
seed
to
again,
stay on
Philip.
par with the Bears and Packers.
I am going the Rams here. They are at home for one, and for two, the Lions are missing yet another secondary piece. And against this Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua combo, you can't really afford not to have secondary. So next up, we have the Colts at the Seahawks. As much as I would love to see Rivers win this game, he's not going to. Seattle's just too good.
Yeah, I just want to point this out. Throwing a person with grandkids out on the field against the Seahawks and Texans defense, that's straight up elder abuse. I'm going Seattle.
Now, to be fair, we said the same thing about Joe Flacco, and he ended up toasting that Steelers defense. So I'm just saying, I know it's not the same thing, but we did say the same thing. But yeah, obviously, I already said Seahawks are winning that. I think Rivers might have an okay game, but he's going to get hit. So next up, we have. I mean, Nick, this is also a heavyweight clash here with playoff implications for both sides. The Packers at the Broncos.
Now, obviously, Kenny, the Bears do need the Packers to lose this game in order to stay on par. In order to make that game in 2 weeks for the division. However, I do think that Denver can beat the Packers, and I think that they will beat the Packers. So I'm going Denver.
I am going to go the opposite direction and say the Packers win. Obviously, there's the whole I don't want them to be the one seed thing. They're also in my division, so it would be nice for them to lose a game here. With that being said, I am highly anticipating to be wrong here because I feel like Jordan Love is also not that good. So, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, though, with Jordan Love. It's Toyota-thon.
That is true. We did forget that metric, man. Did forget.
I was about to
that.
say, you can't forget it's Toyota-thon. It's Toyota.
Again, next up, we have the Titans at the Niners.
I'm going Niners.
I'm going Niners too. This Titans defense is not going to be able to contain the Niners offense. So, yeah, that's all there is to say to that. We know how good that offense is. Next up, we have the. I almost said this was a tank bowl too, but because we didn't make a game earlier tank bowl, I'm not going to name this one unless you decide to play the theme anyways. We got the Vikings at Dallas.
Fuck you, that's a tank ball. I don't have the theme open. Give me a second. Okay, with that said, I'm going Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm going Cowboys too. They have a very, 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 very slim chance at the playoffs at this point. But they have to win this game in order to keep those slim hopes alive and hope the Eagles continue to stumble. But I will say I'm going Dallas too. I just think that this Minnesota defense will give them problems, but I think the same can be said the other way around. So finally, we have the Monday night game as the Dolphins travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
I'm gonna go Steelers.
I am too. I think Tua's gone 2 games. I think without throwing a pick, I think he'll end up throwing picks this game against a revitalized Steelers defense that's playing to keep that division lead right now. So yeah, plus Tua sucks. So.
Yeah, there you guys have it. That is the recap and predictions out of the way. Journey to Immortality, guys. We actually do have something, as much as this slide does need to be updated from last season. I finally finished my sophomore season. So, here are the stats. I obviously went from NIU to the University of Illinois, playing in the Big Ten West now. But I was wide receiver one upon arrival. I had 161 receptions, 1,911 yards, 24 drops, 11.9 yards average, 147 yards average per game, 22 touchdowns, 503 rack yards, 3.1 rack average, a 55-yard long. We finished with a 9-3 record, 6-2 in conference. First in the Big Ten West. As far as the accolades, I set a new University of Illinois single game receiving yards record in Week 8 against Purdue. I set a new University of Illinois single game receiving touchdowns record Week 8 against Purdue. Set new University of Illinois single game receptions record Week 8 versus Purdue. Guys, I had a big game against Purdue. Set new Big Ten Conference single game receptions record in Week 8 against Purdue. I was Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week for that week. I was National Offensive Player of the Week for that week. Set new University of Illinois single game receptions record in Week 10, so broke my own record. Set new Big Ten Conference single game receptions record in Week 10 against Nebraska. Set new University of Illinois single season receiving yards record in Week 10. Trying to see where my Week 10 achievements end, because it's basically just a repeat of everything that happened in Week 4 or no, Week 8 against Purdue. Set new University of Illinois single season receiving yards record, receiving touchdowns record in Week 11 against Minnesota. Set new Big Ten Conference single season receptions record in Week 11. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week for that week. I like, guys, I'm just trying to see where I stop breaking my own records, where I stop. We made the Big Ten championship against Michigan, beat Michigan, which means I am now a two-time conference champion. I once again won the Walter Camp Award, the Maxwell Award, the Heisman Trophy, and the Fred Biletnikoff Award. And once again was a first-team All-American, first-team All-Big Ten. And we made the Cheez-It Citrus Balls and won that. So, yeah, that's what sophomore season looked like. Again, broke a lot of my own records multiple times. So, GOAT. Kenny, anything you want to add?
Nope, I am going to say this. I will be starting another one of those head coach things that I told you about that I do on mobile devices, so I might be able to send you something for that for the next one.
Yeah, needless to say, GOAT. From there, guys, we go into Draft Royalty, sponsored by DraftKings. Not really sponsored by DraftKings. Please don't sue us. Guys, we actually had a close one this week, and I'm actually glad we had a close one because, I've needed something to spice up my life now that my fantasy season's been over for several weeks.
I do want to state this real quick, guys. I'm literally just throwing lineups up there so he doesn't get free wins. Keep that.
Anyway, Kenny, you won this week, so you get to do the honors.
All right. The draft team, let them know how this game went. I do want to point out, just to start it off, we did both pick the Browns defense and special teams.
Which was a mistake.
Another time. By both of us, really. All right, so let's look at these comparisons. I had Sam Darnold, who had 23.26. You had C.J. Stroud, who had 12.62. I believe that is the biggest gap amongst us out of this week. James Cook had 12.1 for me. Jalen Warren had 15.2 for you. I had Devin Neal, the backup in New Orleans, who had 15.4 for me. You had Quinshon Judkins, who had 9.4. I had Romeo Dobbs, who did nothing. You had Terry McLaurin, who had 7.1. I had Puka Nacua, who had 38.7. You had Pittman, who had 16.9. I had Adonai Mitchell, who had 3.4. You had JSN, who had 28.1. I had Brandon Strange, who had 5.7. You had Dallas Goddard, who had 15.8. I have Vidal, who had 11.4. You had Johnston, who had 2.8. And then we both had the Browns defense, who scored 2 points. The final score was 111.96 to 109.92.
So, guys, there you have it. That does it for Draft Royalty. Moving on from there, we get to do Fantasy Football Roundup, see how we're doing in the leagues. I actually won this past week, which was weird, but Kenny, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I can start off with mine. This was a belt to ass, by the way. We had Bo Nix, who had almost 16 points, 15.98 to be exact. He had, get this, Jalen Hurts. That was bloody. James Cook for me, 11.1. He had Isaiah Pacheco, who had 3. I had Devon Achane, who had 17.5. He had RJ Harvey, who had 22. I had McLaurin, who had 7.1. He had Jamar Chase, who had 10.2. I had Puka Nacua, who had 35.7. He had Drake London, who I believe was ruled out just before the game, so he couldn't really do anything about that. I had Jake Ferguson, who had 10.8. He had Brock Bowers, who had 14.6. I had Willie Marks, who had 15.6. He had DJ Moore, who had zero point 0.6. Disappointment. I had Brandon Aubrey, who had 22 points. He had the Atlanta kicker, who had 9 points. And then I had the Rams defense with 6 points. He had this Niners score on by, so whatever. They probably wouldn't have done much anyways. The final score, Nick, was 141.1 to 50.8.
Okay, so
And that moves me to 11-1.
Damn. Okay, I was about to say what was your final record, but you just got there. That brings us to my side. Again, guys, I somehow won this past week. 147.66 to 101.1. It was weird. Let's take a look at these lineups. I had Joe Burrow with 31.36. He had Patrick Mahomes with 6.3. Running backs, I had David Montgomery with 14.3. He had Javonte Williams with 14.7. I had Zonovan Knight with 6.4. Needed to throw someone in there since my other back was on a bye. He had Chase Brown with 18.5. Wide receivers, I had Michael Pittman with 16.9. CD Lamb got him 20.1. Terry McLaurin got me 7. Devontae Adams got him 6.9. And then Jamison Williams got me 17.3. Chris Olave got him 6. In the flex, Zach Ertz got me 2.1 before he went out. Kyle Pitts got him 15. In the flex, Michael Wilson, once again, coming up clutch, 39.2 points. He had Darnell Mooney, who only got 1.6. Kickers, Tyler Loop got me 9. Cairo Santos got him 8. And then both of our defenses got 4. I had the Browns. He had the Steelers. Again, I win 147.66 to 101.1, finishing the season 5-9. That puts me solidly in the 7 seed, just outside the playoffs. I will be in the toilet bowl. But if I win this week, as long as I win this week, I won't be last. So, consolation prizes, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, consolation prizes, that's all.
Anyway, guys, from there we get to go on into something I didn't really pay attention to, but we obviously do need to touch on this for Kenny's sake. Welcome to Ref Ball of the Week.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, Nick did not watch the Monday night game because of his situation we will not discuss here. But there was a call that was missed on a Saquon Barkley touchdown, which is literally the only score the Eagles had that wasn't a kick, where it was blatantly obvious that it was a hold. I'll send the picture to you, Nick, when we're offline, because you'll be able to agree with me that was bullshit. Ironically, again, not the Chiefs, which they have been not the topic of these for most of the year, which is pretty cool, actually. But that's it for ref ball.
All right, guys, from Ref Ball of the Week, we get to go into the player spotlight. And for this week, we actually have a pretty cool one that I kind of wish we had done sooner, guys, as we spotlight Nico Collins.
This was obviously my boy here's wide receiver one when he was a Texans fan entirely, before he decided to abandon him on the side of the road like a dick.
Shut up, Kenny. I just chose to not watch the Bears for a year. Can we all accept that?
No, we cannot. You are a cheater and a liar and a scam.
Fuck you, Kenny. That makes you twice as much of a cheater because you bounce around from team to team. You bounce.
No, I've always only been a Chargers fan, buddy. Don't try that with me.
And I've always been a Bears fan. I just choose whether or not to watch them.
I'll let it go for now. Okay, so his full name, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but his full name is Dominic Stefan Collins. That's quite a name.
That is, yes.
He's obviously with Houston. He played for Michigan and was drafted in 2021 in the, get this, Nick, third round.
Third round steal, though.
Yeah, third round steal. Damn. He was born in Pinson, Alabama. He was born March 19th, 1999. That is 6 days after or before when my birthday is, and obviously he's 3 years younger than me. He's 6'4", 222. That's pretty close to what my height and weight is, by the way. He went to Clay Chalkville for high school, which was in Birmingham, Alabama. He went to Michigan for obviously college, and I mean we already covered when he was drafted, 89th overall in the third round. Again, steal. He's only been with the Texans, and he did get a Pro Bowl nod in 2024. Nick, that is definitely deserved considering the stats he put up.
Yeah.
Being literally the heartbeat of that fucking offense that year. Early life. Collins was born and raised in that city in Alabama. The youngest of 3 kids, his dad, Don Collins, a native of Michigan, worked as a surgical tech, and his mother worked in human resources. In his youth, Collins played basketball. That's cool. He attended Clay Chalkville High School in Clay, Alabama, where he played wide receiver on the undefeated football team that won the 2014 Class 6A state championship. As a junior, he caught for 60 passes for 1,103 yards and 16 touchdowns. So he was a dog even back then, too. As a senior, he had 43 receptions, 865 yards, and 9 touchdowns. In 2017, Collins committed to play football at Michigan over Georgia and Alabama. Dog, by the way, as we already mentioned.
I'm not going to say anything because fuck Michigan.
Yeah, Nick's still a little bit sore when it comes to Michigan. Don't worry about it. His scouting report had him at 6'5", so I don't know why they had him at 6'5". You don't just shrink an inch out of nowhere. I was kind of waiting for Nick to say, "What do you know about inches?" But I guess he's not going to say that.
Man, the fuck you know about inches?
Let's see. We already talked about when he was drafted. Collins made his first career start NFL debut in the Texans' Week 1 victory over Jacksonville. He recorded 1 reception for 7 yards. Who knew what he would turn into at that point? He started again in Week 2, where he had 1 reception for 32 yards. However, unfortunately, a shoulder injury had placed him on IR for almost a month. And he returned to start the Texans' Week 6 loss to Indianapolis. In Week 14, when he started against the Seahawks, Collins recorded 5 receptions for 69 yards. Nice. And caught his first career touchdown. Collins finished his rookie season appearing in 14 games with 8 starts, 33 receptions, 446 yards, and just the one touchdown. In 2022, Collins finished the season with 37 catches, 481 yards, 2 touchdowns, playing in 10 games, including 7 starts. Collins was placed on season-ending injury reserve with a foot injury. In Week 2 against Indianapolis in the 2023 season, Collins finished with 146 receiving yards and a touchdown in the 31-20 loss. In Week 4, when he played Pittsburgh, he had 7 receptions for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. Then in Denver, in Week 13, Collins would top his career high in yardage and receptions, having 9 for 191 and adding a touchdown in a win over the Broncos, 22-17. In a win-or-go-home scenario against the Colts in Week 18, Collins caught 9 of his targets for 195 yards and a career-long 75-yard touchdown, with a 23-19 win clinching the division for the first time since 2019. He appeared in 15 games, made 10 starts. He had 80 receptions for 1,297 yards and 8 touchdowns. He finished the season 8th in the league in receiving yards and tied 4th in receptions of 20 yards or more. In the 2024 season, agreed to a 3-year extension worth up to $75 million with $52 million guaranteed. Collins led the league with 597 receiving yards before suffering a hamstring injury in Week 5 against Buffalo. My co-host remembers when that happened, that's for sure.
Yep.
The Texans placed Collins on IR. He was activated on November 9th. In Week 13, he had 8 receptions for 119 yards in 23-20 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. In Week 15 against the Dolphins, he had 2 touchdowns and a 20-12 victory. He finished the 2024 season with 68 receptions, 1,006 yards, and 7 touchdowns in 12 games. He earned the Pro Bowl nod for that season. And then his career stats as of today is 3,230 yards, 18 touchdowns, and he's fumbled once in his career. And that is it. There is no personal information to give on Mr. Nico Collins.
Well, guys, from there we go into the closing segments of the show. Starting off with Kenny's. Welcome to Charged Up. Kenny, the floor is yours.
All right, as we saw on Monday, we had a defensive game that we don't have a lot of those really high defense winning us games in recent memory. This is one of those games. Defense had 4 interceptions on Jalen Hurts, forced a fumble as well on Jalen Hurts on the same play as we mentioned earlier. Justin Herbert with one hand and a very bad offensive line ended up getting sacked 7 times. And I don't know if Nick knows this, but he was pressure on 70% of his snaps. 70. And Nick, do you want to guess what the season high in pressures was before this year?
I have no idea.
219 on Matt Ryan in 2024.
Bruh.
Guess how many pressures Herbert already has?
How many?
224.
Dear God.
And there's 4 games left. Crazy. Herbert threw a touchdown to a returning Amarian Hampton, had a 60-yarder to Kyrie Vidal. Thank you for that, by the way, because that's kind of what helped me beat Nick this past week on DraftKings. And overall, I mean, to me, Jalen Hurts should never be put in top 10 conversations again, let alone top 5. I think Nick can agree with me, he hasn't looked good this entire fucking season, basically. That entire Eagles offense, for that matter, has looked god-awful basically all season. With the Chargers, their offensive line, they started, I think, their 22nd or 23rd offensive line combination this year. And that's not something you want to hear, that's for sure. Also wanted to talk about some of these other stats real quick while I have the chance to pull them up, because I do want to talk about who got those interceptions. So let's talk about the stats for the Eagles first. In terms of yardage, I mean, Hurts had 248 total yards, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. A.J. Brown led their team with 100 yards. A.J. Brown finally not probably having to assault Jalen now because he's actually getting him the football.
For real.
But also, A.J. Brown did tip it off his hands and allowed the Chargers to get one of those interceptions. So, there's that. The Adoree Jackson did get an interception on Herbert, who had his arm hit as he threw this ball. So that was expected as soon as you saw that happen. Again, they did get 7 sacks. Hunt, Bond, Davis, Jacoby Dean, and Byron Young, I believe is his name, were the ones that got those 7 sacks combined. Kick returns, 4 by B. Covey. He had 103 yards on kick returns. Punt returns, same guy had 54 return yardage. Jake Elliott went 4 for 5, missing, get this, Nick, a 44 yarder. Brandon Mann had 3 punts of 155 yards and 1 touchback. As for the Chargers side, Herbert had 12 of 26, 139 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, sacked again 7 times. He did also lead the team in rushing with 66 yards. Hampton had 56, and Vidal had 44. We did run the ball 37 times, so compared to 26 throws, which was what I was expecting with Herbert's hand injury. Vidal actually led the team in receiving with 60 yards. Keenan had 22. Harris had 18. McConkey had 12. Hampton had 11. So, yeah, we spread the ball out a little bit, too. On the other side, we have the picks were by Cam Hart, which is the one that A.J. Brown deflected off his own hands. Deshaun Ham, the defensive tackle, by the way, had the pick that was then fumbled, which was then recovered, which was then fumbled again. Adafe Owe had a sack as well. As Dante Jackson had the 3rd pick, and then Tony Jefferson, a.k.a. the Unk, had the game-sealing interception in overtime. And, I don't know why Eagles fans think offensive line is an excuse you can use for a Chargers fan this year, but you can't. You just fucking can't. I'm pretty sure, let's just say the Chargers did meet the Bears and then we ended up beating the Bears, but you guys had 1 offensive line injury. Pretty sure you're not dumb enough to try to use offensive line as the reason you lost, considering what ours looks like. It would probably have been Caleb's fault in this case, but whatever. But yeah, that is what the Eagles fans are blaming the offensive line. They're blaming Kevin Batula. They're blaming anybody but Jalen Hurts. And some Eagles fans are even saying it was lucky the Chargers won. Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but your quarterback throwing 4 interceptions. Is that luck, or does your quarterback just suck?
That's the other quarterback sucking.
Exactly. Like, if Jalen knew what his team's jersey looks like, he wouldn't throw those interceptions.
Like, that's not to say that Justin Herbert
4...
was any good, but yeah, that's not...
See, but, and that's what I wanted to bring up too, unlike Jalen, Herbert doesn't have an O-line and was playing with a hand injury. So
I mean, yeah, sure. You can. Those are excuses, but at the end of the day, he played like shit.
Okay, Nick. Let's get this out of the way. Excuses? No, it's fucking facts, dog. 30th ranked offensive line. Sacked 7 times. Pressured 70% of the time. Do you just expect a quarterback to throw for 200 to 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, or something like that when he's constantly getting pressured? Or
no, what I'm saying is I expect a higher level of play out of Justin Herbert than what we got, because Justin Herbert is supposed to be a top-tier NFL quarterback.
Which he is when he's not dealing with an injury or a shitty-ass O-line. Just saying. We've seen many good quarterbacks have bottom-tier O-lines and play like dog shit. And we've had quarterbacks
seen Justin Herbert have just that and play better.
Yeah, we've seen it this year have a bad O-line and played pretty fucking good, but he didn't have the injury before. That's the main thing. I'm pretty. Have you played quarterback before?
Uh, Depends on what level.
Have you played quarterback? Period.
I mean, when I was a kid, I played quarterback. Yeah, I played.
So you understand that mechanics get thrown off, even when it's just your non-throwing hand, because you have to use that hand also to hold on to the football. And just in general, any injury done to your hands or your feet or your legs or anything like that, it's going to affect how a quarterback plays, and it did. Honestly, he kind of put together the game I was expecting him to put together. I think his percentage could have maybe been a little bit higher, but I knew they'd lean on the run. Anyone that didn't know that is a fucking idiot. It's plain and simple. I expected him to play like an injured quarterback would. He typically can tough out those injuries, but again, first week, fresh off a surgery that he had a week ago, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, surgery a week ago. He did basically what I was expecting. I think next week he'll probably play better because he would actually have an entire extra week of practicing with that situation going on. And I think that's going to make a difference against the Chiefs. With Amari and Hampton back too, and Hassan Haskins, two of our three injured running backs coming back, that's going to help because he's not going to have to throw 30 to 40 times a game just to stay in games now. He can actually run the ball to start it, and I think that'll help him get his percentages and stuff back to where we expect them to be. Overall, I think the Chargers are in good position to take a playoff spot. If they knock off the Chiefs, especially, the Chiefs cannot hop them within the division if they win that game because it would make the gap 4 wins with 3 weeks left. Also, obviously, as you posted, Nick, we are all indeed enjoying the downfall of the Chiefs this year. It is cinema. Let's be honest, it's cinema. With that being said, I think I'm going to wrap up my segment by saying I hope we are able to keep the momentum going, finish the season strong, and get a playoff game that we will hopefully win. And
All right, guys, with that out of the way then, we're going to move into the Roman Empire. Guys, we lost to that boogeyman up north. We lost to those goddamn cheeseheads. Okay, guys, I'm not panicking. If anything, we saw just how resilient this Bears team can be with that second half. That does not excuse this terrible as shit first half. It doesn't. It also does not excuse the absolutely back-breaking hospital ball that Caleb threw for that game-sealing interception. What are you doing? What are you doing? Now, guys, I've been over this before, and I'm going to say it again. Ben Johnson, we've already established this. Ben Johnson is the real deal. Ben Johnson is legit. He is the head coach of the future. I don't want to hear any arguments on that. Kenny, you keep your damn mouth shut. Caleb Williams is the issue that I've been addressing every single week, and I'm still not sold. Every single time I start to get sold on Caleb Williams and start to considering buying stock in this Caleb Williams kid, he plays a game like he did against the Packers. He plays a game like he did against the Saints. And it just makes me wonder, like, wow, I was thinking about buying stock in this? Guys, the bottom line is this. Caleb Williams could beat every other team in the NFL, but if Caleb Williams cannot consistently find a way to beat the Green Bay Packers, he is not going to stay the quarterback of the Chicago Bears past his contract. It's that simple. It's that simple. Because quite frankly, as much as we all know that I hate agreeing with Packer fans, they are right about one thing. Playing the Packers is our Super Bowl. Because if we can't beat those goddamn boogeymen up north, what the hell is this all for? I genuinely question. for those of you that are Bears fans, if we cannot beat the Packers, what the hell is the winning for? Seriously, like, what are we doing this for? Because all we've wanted for years is a team that we can be proud of, that we can say, beat the Packers. And sure, we got that bullshit win in the final week of the season last year. Sure. But if Caleb Williams cannot consistently beat the Packers, he is not going to stay a Chicago Bear past his contract. And you know what? Honestly, I think that might be a good thing. If you guys know anything about Caleb Williams, the guy was a diehard Packers fan growing up, so you know, maybe there is some legitimacy to this press of him not wanting to be a Chicago Bear. I don't know, guys. With that said, I am not panicking. If assuming the Packers lose to the Broncos and we beat the Browns, again, both these things are very, very, very possible. Then we go into Soldier Field in 2 weeks with the exact same situation. We're playing the Packers again for the number 1 seed in the NFC and control of the NFC North. That's why, again, I'm not panicking. We just need one thing to go our way. One little thing. And it's something that's very possible. With that said, I'm done ragging on it. Bear down. Let's get this win against the Browns, and then let's for the love of God, let's beat Green Bay in Chicago, please. Let's beat Green Bay in Chicago. With that out of the way, guys, we have one final segment to go on this show. Guys, welcome to Fuck Up of the Week.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And guys, this week, this week should be obvious who the Fuck Up of the Week is. It's Jalen Hurts, everyone.
Yep. Interception and fumble in one play. You costed your fantasy managers 4 points on one play. And minimum 4 points in one play. And again, you threw 4 picks in a game. And there were 3 out of those 4 were on you. There was no one to blame but yourself. You threw it directly to a defender.
Top 5 QB, more like 5 turnovers in a game.
No, Nick, he is top 5, okay? Top 5 and throwing to the other team.
But yeah, guys, that of course is that. I mean, that was kind of a given who Fuck Up of the Week was going to be. I mean, when you throw an interception and commit a fumble on the same play, I mean, come on. With that said, though, guys, we are getting to the closing moments of the show. Kenny, anything you want to say before we sign off here?
Just again, thank you guys for joining as you normally do. Hopefully, we won't have any more reasons to not do a podcast episode for the remainder of the year. Again, barring anything big, we should be all right. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed per usual, and we'll see you guys next week.
Well, yeah, there you guys have it, Kenny. You perfectly summarized everything. You know, we're gonna be back every week. You know, barring any major mishaps. And yeah, we will see. With that said, guys, we will of course see you guys next week after we get another week of action. Yeah, see you guys next week.
So my words are gonna make you float. I'm like dry ice mixed with alcohol in a bowl. Or below zero winter, go and grab a coat. What else can I say? The kid is just too cold. Never told a fib, was born just too bold. Never had to fold, but did break the mold. And as the story's told, if you didn't know, I'm running up the scope. This is DMO. Can you hear me? The some of been minds, man, they better fear me. They need glasses, they can't see it clearly. I don't chase the money, it just like to come near me. Yearly, truly, my life is a movie. Took her on a date once, now she tryna groove me. I'm really that guy, they gon' have to sue me. Then had the juice, time to mix it like a smoothie. Groovy, they asked me how I get up, I told them had to start down. Found me some real ones, now I got a crew now. Met a loyal girl 4 years later, that's my boo wow. And now I'm out here giving new sounds like boom pow.
I'm